Think about the last time you made a simple choice. Maybe you picked a coffee over tea, or decided to turn left instead of right. It felt like a conscious decision, right? You might have considered the pros and cons, weighed the options, and then made what you believed was a deliberate choice. You weighed the options, used your free will, and made a choice. This process seems straightforward and logical. But what if I told you that your brain had already made the decision before you were even aware of it? This idea might sound like science fiction, but it's grounded in scientific research. The notion that our conscious mind is not the true origin of our decisions challenges everything we know about free will and autonomy. That's the startling question, raised by the work of Benjamin Libet, a pioneering neuroscientist. Libet's experiments in the 1980s have had a profound impact on our understanding of the human mind. He conducted groundbreaking experiments that shook the very foundation of how we understand free will. By measuring brain activity, Libet discovered that the brain initiates a decision before we become consciously aware of it. His research suggests that our conscious experience of making a choice might be an illusion, a mere afterthought. This means that what we perceive as a conscious decision is actually a story our brain tells itself after the fact. Imagine the implications of this discovery. If our choices are predetermined by unconscious brain processes, then the concept of free will becomes much more complex and elusive. Intrigued? Let's dive into the world of neuroscience and explore Libet's groundbreaking experiment. We'll uncover how these findings challenge our understanding of free will and what it means to truly make a choice. Benjamin Libet wasn't some mad scientist working in a dark lab. He was a respected researcher at the University of California, San Francisco, deeply interested in the connection between brain activity and consciousness. In the 1980s, he devised a deceptively simple experiment to investigate a profound question. When we make a conscious decision, does our brain activity precede or follow our awareness of that decision? Libet's work wasn't about proving or disproving free will. It was about investigating the sequence of events in the brain during the decision-making process. He wanted to understand the timing of our conscious intentions relative to the brain's activity. Libet's experiment was elegantly simple, yet profoundly insightful. Imagine yourself as a participant. You're sitting in a chair, facing a clock with a rapidly moving dot. The setting is serene, the air crisp, and the only sound is the rhythmic ticking of the clock. Your task is to perform a simple action, flexing your wrist, at any time you choose. It seems straightforward, but there's an intriguing twist. But there's a catch. You also need to note the exact position of the dot on the clock when you first become aware of your conscious intention to move. This requires a keen sense of awareness and precise timing. Meanwhile, electrodes attached to your scalp are measuring your brain activity. These electrodes are sensitive instruments, capturing the subtle electrical signals that dance across your brain. This allows researchers to track a specific brain signal called the readiness potential, which is known to precede voluntary movements. The readiness potential is a fascinating phenomenon, a precursor to action that occurs milliseconds before you even realize you want to move. This signal is like a whisper from your brain, hinting that a movement is about to happen. It's as if your brain is preparing for the action before you consciously decide to do it, revealing the intricate dance between intention and action. The results of Libet's experiment were truly mind-bending. He found that the readiness potential, that telltale brain signal, consistently appeared a significant fraction of a second before participants reported their conscious decision to move their wrist. In other words, the brain seemed to be gearing up for the action well before the participant was even aware of deciding to act. This finding sent shockwaves through the scientific community. It suggested that our conscious experience of making a choice might not be the initiator of the action, but rather a delayed awareness of a decision already in motion. Could it be that our conscious will is more of an observer than a decision maker? Libet's experiment ignited a firestorm of debate about the nature of free will. Philosophers and theologians have grappled with this concept for centuries, and now neuroscience was adding fuel to the fire. Some argued that Libet's findings delivered a fatal blow to the idea of free will, suggesting that our actions are predetermined by unconscious brain processes. Others cautioned against drawing such sweeping conclusions. They argued that the experiment, while intriguing, couldn't definitively prove that free will is an illusion. After all, the tasks involved were simple, and the timescales involved were minuscule. Could such a simplified experiment truly capture the complexity of human decision-making in the real world? Libet's experiment, whether it settles the free will debate or not, forces us to confront a profound question. What does it mean to be human in a world where our conscious experience might not be the ultimate author of our actions? This question touches the very core of our existence, challenging the way we perceive our thoughts, decisions, and ultimately our identity. If our conscious mind is not the sole driver of our actions, then what role does it play? Are we merely passengers in a vehicle driven by unconscious processes? Does it undermine our sense of responsibility? If our actions are initiated by unconscious processes, can we still be held accountable for them? This question has profound implications for our legal and moral systems, which are built on the premise that individuals have control over their actions. Does it change how we view ourselves and others? If we start to see ourselves as beings driven by unconscious impulses, it might alter our relationships and how we interact with each other. We might become more empathetic, understanding that not all actions are consciously controlled. These are not easy questions to answer. They require deep reflection and a willingness to challenge our preconceived notions about free will and consciousness. But perhaps the most important takeaway from Libet's work is not despair or resignation, but a sense of wonder and curiosity. It invites us to explore the mysteries of our own minds and the universe with a renewed sense of awe. Our brains are incredibly complex organs capable of extraordinary feats. They are the seat of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and understanding how they work is a journey that can lead to profound insights. Understanding how they work, even if it challenges our deeply held beliefs, can only enrich our understanding of ourselves and the universe we inhabit. It encourages us to keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep seeking the truth about who we are and what it means to be human. Please leave a like. This really helps us to keep creating content to puzzle our minds and go deeper into the nature of reality. See you in our next video.